2011-1. An ordinance to adopt the fiscal year 2012 operating capital improvement and debt service budgets for the City of Millington and to establish budget-related procedures and controls. This is on the third reading.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this ordinance?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things, Mayor, just to
All right.
basically be on the record for. One of my big concerns was that we didn't really have the time. I really wish that we would get the budget to the Board of Alderman in April instead of in May, so that we don't have to have all these special call meetings for a budget. You know, we should have our ducks in a row well enough, early enough that we can get it soon enough that we can do this in regular meetings. Because you look at a special call meeting, we've got 7 people out here. Man, and in a regular meeting, we get much more input from the public. I'm just very concerned about that. And the other thing it does, if we did have any concerns about the budget tonight, and we say we don't like it, then we don't have enough time to make any changes before the new budget goes into effect. So it really puts us under the gun. You know, I'm real concerned about that. Okay, I'm going to go along with the budget. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that we need to do it better next year.
We tried to. We had a flood. It really hurt us.
I'm so sick of that flood
I'm just making
ordinance.
that comment. Okay.
Well, also we're going.
And I think that's happened about every year, by the way, since I've been an alderman. And even when I was sitting out in the audience, I saw that happen quite a bit. You know, it seemed like we just routinely do that the last year.
Except we're going to do something we've never done. We're going to have budget meetings
Understand
every
that.
3 months.
Right, I understand that, and we talked about that in the budget thing. The other thing, I've had several employees come to me, and this is more a matter of principle than anything else. And there are several employees who are not getting any pay raise whatsoever in the police department and the fire department. You know, I understand the rationale and whys and all that good stuff, and I've been in that position myself as a supervisor. I understand all that. But to provide them like a 1% pay raise would have been a cost of less than $3,000 to the city. I think as a matter of principle, I would like to have seen us be able to do that. I don't know how we could do it now, but that does bother me. The other thing I discussed with you a little bit before the meeting is we're counting on quite a bit of revenue from red light cameras, and House Bill 1500 has been passed and already signed into public law by the governor. And we need to take a look at the impact that is going to take on our revenue, because it is going to change the way that we give out tickets. It's going to change the process. It's going to change the way we park the speed ban. It's going to change a lot of stuff that's not covered by a contract. All the contract says is that you comply with the state law. Okay, well, the state law has changed. That's what we have to comply with. So we just need to have a good study of it. Either maybe Ms. Lapidus give us an impact statement and have the chief of police give us an impact statement, because it's going to change the way you do you're turning right on red, and a lot of other stuff. If you read the bill, it is going to impact it. I guess last but not least is we've got in the budget a revenue of $70,000 for baseball revenue at USA Stadium. You know, we've doubled the hotel motel tax. You know, we've all gone out, especially I have gone out trying to get non-baseball events to help fund USA Stadium, and we've done, I think, pretty good at it. And they're going to have us. American Legion Fair is going to have something else in there again next year too, by the way, just as an aside. But the fact is, right now we're up to about $35,000 revenue from baseball operations this year, and the season's almost over. So 70,000 may be a stretch. We in the Sports Authority are going to have to really watch that for next year, so that we don't come up short at the end of the year. You know, a couple $100,000 total in the budget. We just need to watch it real close.
Couple $100,000.
Well, I hope it's all. I hope it's not. I'm just telling you, we just need to monitor.
I hope you're exaggerating that.
Well, $70,000 is a stretch probably for baseball revenue, especially when we don't have Gulf South, even though it cost us. We don't have any of the big tournaments like we used to have when we had the TLSAA come in and NJCAA. So
have you talked to Mr. Waits or any of them in the last couple of weeks?
I have.
Did he tell you about the new programs for next year?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm very optimistic. I'm hoping that they'll do well. You know, I'm not being pessimistic about it. I just don't want us, you know, with these monthly meetings, we need to watch that really close. And Jim Brown and myself on the Sports Authority need to watch it real close, because we need to, you know, we don't want to be doing something that's done for the city.
Well, the red light cameras, like I said, I was ahead of you about just a couple of feet. I already talked to Ms. Lapidus about looking at that and giving us.
Yeah,
giving
that's
us-
just my concern.
Yeah, and also I need to inform you on, as far as the Sports Authority, I've given a form last week to Jeff, that after every event, I want a breakdown of exactly what it cost us and what we made on every event. And I even added in there as to how many, for example, for how many days of a tournament we have. Divide that into, no, understand how I'm doing it though.
Yeah.
Divide that into the 38,000 it takes for the field. That's just one example. And this year it comes out $800 a day. So that will be figured in as an expense down to the penny as to what we're doing on it. Because I've told them if it doesn't at least break even or get close, it's over with.
Yeah, we need to light a fire and get those
Yeah.
sponsorship packages out too. I've talked to them twice about it, and we hadn't seen them yet, so we need to really put the push on getting those things out.
Right.
We're leaving money on the table there.
Right.
I'm through.
Anybody else?
I don't know, you know, Mike, I understand your frustration, and I feel it the same way when it comes budget time, and we always seem to be under the gun, but we always manage to work through it and get to a point where everyone seems to be satisfied with it. I think one time we started in February and we still had special call meetings, so I think it's kind of it's a inherent problem when you have a lot of issues to deal with and work through. And it seems like no matter how early you start, I think you got enough time to get through it. But I think with this effort this year of us meeting on a quarterly basis now, hopefully that can.
I think that'll help a lot.
I hope
really
so.
do.
And if not, we'll try something else.
Yeah,
So
well,
I think
absolutely.
it's a good thing. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your comments too.
I think Mike's comments about the Sports Authority, though, are valid. I think, you know, people have a heightened awareness of the amount of money that the city is spending over there, and the fact that a number of citizens have seemed to be coming out with concerns about that. And, you know, I do think it's something we've got to figure out a way to show that that thing can be a profitable entity. And I know the logic is that it brings in people, and it definitely does. It benefits our tourism in our community, but at the end of the day, it has to be something that has to be self-sufficient eventually, and it can't be something that the city continues to pour money into without getting, you know, a proper return on it. And I just think that given time, we're going to have to make sure we're properly evaluating it.
Yeah, the evaluation is the hardest part of that sports authority, that facility that we have over there, of what's coming in and what's actually being, the people that are coming in, whether they're staying in the motels or not, whether they're eating in the restaurants. That's the hardest part. But if we've got the teams from out of town coming in and playing games or events that are from out of the area, people are coming in from out of the area, they're definitely going to be spending money and staying in motels and eating in the restaurants and buying gasoline, and those things are really hard to put your finger on at the end of the day. And it's really something that we're going to have to come up with some kind of ways to figure out how that we can put some kind of numbers to it. And it's really hard to do.
Neil, can I ask you a question? About what percentage of your hotels are occupied by baseball players during the year?
Neil, would you tell Mr. Caruthers what me and you talked about 2 or 3 times that I want you to do?
I'd say when me and Thomas have talked, I think we've talked about it about 30% of the occupancy.
About 30%. What's your normal occupancy rate right now to include that? About?
Right now, it's somewhere between 50 and 55.
And 30% of that is based on USA Stadium?
Yeah.
But Neil, didn't I ask you to get me some true numbers and get with all the motel owners that when we have an event to let me know exactly how many were staying there? And you told me, you said, well, I can do it and Thomas will do it, but maybe some of the others may or may not. And I told you to tell them if they want this thing to stay in town, they need to start figuring a report and letting us know, or it might all be over. Did I not tell you that?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
me and you talked about it, and you
Right.
said that the county taxes and everything,
Right.
we can kind of
Tell.
figure it out.
About what's the break-even point for occupancy rate? I mean, below what point of occupancy would you have to shut the doors? Any
Well,
idea?
to be
I'm
honest
just
with you,
curious.
Year before last, about, y'all don't mind me speaking.
Sure.